Marco Ferragolini currently leads digital transformation on the modelling and simulation stream within the Digital Design, Manufacturing and Services programme at Airbus. He has a strong focus on model-based systems engineering, serving on the NCOSE MBSE working group and giving lectures on the subject in various engineering schools. Marco, thanks for talking to us today.
With pleasure.
You've had a very interesting career so far, being involved in modelling and simulation across several different industries. Why did you decide to focus on simulation and analysis and systems engineering in particular?
Well, in fact, yes, I had some quite different experience in different sector, and I always found some common issue especially in engineering and in development of complex products. And it's really about not applying, unfortunately, system engineering principles. So as has been really an operational manager on the ground, I've always tried to improve and really solve issue of those teams. And I found really in system engineering elements and best practice, really all the answer that I was looking for. Maybe not all, but many of them. Yeah. And more recently, I have also had the opportunity to understand that beyond the best practice that you have coming with system engineering, in fact, you can even really go for a digital approach, let me say, where many of those practices can be really digitalized thanks to the introduction of model-based system engineering, which is a really much modern way and more efficient to apply those principles. So I've been really fascinated by this discipline, and I had also the chance to, I would say, introduce them in some projects and really measure the benefits, really living the benefits of those new approaches. That's why I'm really convinced that it's very important especially for the company of today's dealing with products that are more and more complex, more and more connected, and with development times which are really not giving sometimes the time to the engineers to do things properly. It will be even more instrumental to really found the engineering effort on those approaches.
As you say, MBSE is a relatively young approach in the grand scheme of engineering analysis and simulation, with the NCOSE 2020 initiative being widely recognised as the first real attempt at formalising the concept in 2007. How has it progressed since then? Has the concept taken hold in industry as much as you would have thought?
Well, in fact, the learning curve it's not easy. Let me say, it's not an easy journey. Let me say, and I've personally tried to push those concepts in the railway sector, which is, I would say, maybe not so advanced already in terms of system engineering awareness. Than the aerospace sector, where I'm living right now in Airbus, where I found, I would say, an easier environment to do my job. Let me say, I think that what is really preventing, from my point of view, to have a quick adoption of those methodology and practices, is really linked to the people. As you say, there are new skills and also the complexity sometimes of the approach is not helping. The languages that have been defined to formalize the system architecture, like SysML, are language that are very often more for specialists rather than for the normal engineering activities or normal engineering skills. Let me say. So that's why really the challenge. I think that. We have developed towards MBSE probably the processes, the tools, the languages, and we have identified what are the skills that are necessary. But after we are really facing the fact that companies don't know exactly what is the good way to go and what is the path to follow to raise the skills. And also, unfortunately, as MBSE is not a traditional engineering discipline that you can learn in any engineering university or schools, all those skills have to be developed after to some masters or also on the ground. And so that's why this is not also helping a lot. And I think that in Incosi vision, there are also one of the way forward is identified in order to develop also in university and schools, engineering schools, those skills starting from the graduates. And probably this will help a lot, but we are just at the beginning of this, I think.
Yeah, I mean, going back to, like you said, you started in railway and you're now in aerospace with Airbus. The aerospace industry is going through a bit of a transformational period with advances in technology and changes in demand, tougher environmental requirements. What's the biggest change that we can look forward to in the next 10 to 20 years in the industry?
For sure, the decarbonization is really the key element of the transformation. I mean, the key element that will impact the transformation of the aerospace industry. The digitalization is the other axis of transformation. Yes, so it's really permitting our industry to face I would say a societal expectation around the environment. Okay. So there is a strong acceleration, and I think also the COVID crisis has also even accelerated further those expectations. We are not ready yet. I mean, tomorrow morning to have an aircraft which will be at zero emission. We still need to develop some key technologies around the hydrogen and electrification. And so, I mean, what we are doing in Airbus with our transformation programs is really to ensure that in the way we will operate in the future, starting from our processes, but also going down to the methods, to the tools, and to the skills we will need will permit us to design and operate those aircrafts, which will not emit any more CO2. And we know exactly that a strong enabler for this will be digitalization.
Yeah, and that's what you'll be covering in your keynote at the upcoming NAFEMS World Congress, the digital transformation. Can you give us a bit more of an insight into what you'll be speaking about?
Yes. So, in fact, I will present more widely our digitalization program, so DDMS, which stands for Digital Design, Manufacturing and Service. We will enter more into the modeling and simulation area, and I will try to give a bit of insight what are the key developments and our objectives, having a modeling simulation as an element which will permit in the future to the people to work in a much more collaborative way, okay, thanks to digital continuity, ultimately to permit us to optimize our product, our industrial system, and the way the product is operated in service also. So those are our key objectives, and we have a strategy to reach that. Then I will try also to give a practical example on one of the most complex area of modeling simulation of the aircraft, which is the overall aircraft design, what we are effectively doing in order to connect better the disciplines and to really permit to reach this global optimum rather than having a set of local optimums.
Yeah. I mean, we're delighted that you're going to be speaking at the Congress next month with us. Now, unfortunately, it's going to be online as opposed to in person, but that's the world we live in at the moment. But just how important are conferences like this to industry, do you think?
I think this conference is really important for all the modeling simulation discipline, because I always look carefully to other industry. And because we have a lot to learn from what is going in other sector, and even in our sector with our competitors and our partners. So it's always a place where you can really be inspired, share your experience, and probably also sometimes try to put together or finding opportunities to work together on the same goals. So sometimes it's also creating partnerships or some interesting collaboration initiative. So I'm always very kind to attend, to share what we are doing, but also to listen and to be enriched with the key contribution that are planned in this conference.
Yeah, I mean, touching on a similar area, Airbus are NAFEM's members, and you yourself, you're active in various INCOSE working groups. How important do you think organizations like ours are to the community?
But in fact, they are fundamental, and they are really a sort of accelerator. As I said, yes, we are member of NAFEMS. We are also very proactively contributing to the INCOSE working groups, and we have really tried to set up an expert community in ensuring that according to the different topics, we have the right expert, which is trying in a way to, as I said, present our view, but also get a lot of feedback and ideas, and also sometimes try to push the development of those type of disciplines in the right direction. So we are a member of INCOSE and NAFEMS, but also we are present in many standardization community and organizations to really try to I would say pull the direction in towards the vision we have in Airbus. So as I said, they are very instrumental attendance, and we will probably also reinforce our presence in the next year.
Marco, it's been a real pleasure speaking with you today. Thanks for taking the time out to cover what you'll be speaking about at the upcoming World Congress. We're looking forward to your keynote presentation, and we'll talk to you then.
Thank you, and I'm really excited to be there and to contribute to this very interesting conference. Thank you.